forget, will you remember for me? That is the essence of what we do here as licensed practitioners at CSLDallas. We remember for you when you forget. And we can do that in so many ways. If you need to create more in your life, or you just need to shift old patterns that are no longer serving you, that is what we're here to do to support you. The Science of Mind textbook says it is the practitioner's business to uncover God in every person. God is not sick. God is not poor. God is not unhappy. God is never afraid. God is never confused. God is never out of place. The premise upon which all mental work is based is perfect God, perfect person, perfect being. Just take that in for a moment. Perfect God, perfect person, perfect being. Last week, Tracy talked about everyone can be a practitioner if they put into practice science of mind principles in their life on a daily basis. So we're all have the ability to be practitioners. You can pray for yourself as a practitioner, or you can engage a prayer partner or a sangha, or you can engage the many licensed practitioners we have at CSLDallas. One of the things we like to say is we have a license to pray, and we love to use it. Go ahead, make our day, ask us to pray. That's what we're all about. And even as a practitioner, sometimes I lose sight of my own truth. And when my emotions get charged, I look in and lean into the practitioners here on a regular basis. We all do that. We lean on each other. Just because we're licensed practitioners doesn't mean we don't have our own work that we continue to do, or times when we don't need to lean into a practitioner. You know, one of the things that really stood out to me on that quote that I just read is that God is never afraid. Well, I can remember a time I was very afraid to stand up in front of a group of people to speak, and here I am today. So I wanted to tell you a little story about when I arrived here at CSLDallas. When I showed up, I was going through what I would call a dark night of the soul. I was lost. I really didn't have a connection anywhere, and I was really questioning, what is the meaning of life? What is the purpose? I really didn't have a church. I didn't have an affiliation with anything, and I was not familiar with the principles here. So when I showed up, I immediately enrolled into the foundations class. And for those of you that are not familiar with the foundations class, it is a life-changing experience. So if you haven't already taken that, I highly encourage you to take it. In fact, I think we have a class coming up here in September. So for those of you that have taken it, you are very familiar with the fact that you have to do a project at the end of that class. And for me, the thing that came through was a poem. Not exactly sure why a poem, because I'd never written a poem in my entire life. But that's what came through, and it really encapsulated what I was feeling at the time as well as what my intention was. So writing it was the easy part, but you have to get up and present it. And I remember that day that we were presenting our projects, and I was so nervous. I did not want to get up there and give this presentation, and I don't think I even heard anything that came before my moment. And when I got up there to read my poem, I was shaking. I was shaking like a leaf, and I couldn't look up. I just looked down at the paper and just read it as fast as I could. My face was flushed. I couldn't even tell you how fast I read it, if anyone even understood a word I said, and then I sat down, just knowing that everyone in the room was just looking at me. And it was a horrible experience. And you know, I could think of a lot of times in my career as a manager where not being able to speak in front of people was getting in the way of my own career growth. It wasn't too long after that I attended a workshop put on by a licensed practitioner. And during the course of the process that we went through, one of the things that came up was a hidden belief that I had that had been with me since childhood. My father used to say to me, "Children are to be seen and not heard." I didn't have any idea that belief had been embedded in my subconscious as it was. And I'm sure plenty of you have heard that if you're my age. That was just a common thing to be said. But that was a really aha moment for me to realize that if I was being good, I was being quiet. and being seen was not a good thing. So at the end of that workshop, I set an intention. And that intention was to be seen and be heard. And so in my wildest imagination, I would never believe that I would be standing here in front of you, live streaming today, and how far I've come, since that time. And it wasn't just that, it was the ongoing use of practitioners and other people to help see the truth, because they could see in me that I could do this, even when I could not. And I went from being scared to be in front of people to now, which is, I was excited. I couldn't even imagine being excited. I got so excited about being excited to be able to come and talk and share this with you today. So, what I couldn't see is that there's no fear in God, so there can be no fear in me. Or that the divine presence, the divine intelligence flows through me and knows exactly what to say. That I could show up and be my authentic self and just know that I know. And that I have something valuable to share, that other people might want to hear me. And to be seen is not bad at all. So I want to talk a little bit about, prayer. We offer prayer here after service. You can go and send a prayer request online. You can go to the Zoom room, which we're going to talk a little bit more about. And there's lots of ways. You can even actually go on the directory and call any one of us anytime for one-on-one prayer. We're always available to you. You hear Reverend Karen and Reverend Petra call us the prayer arm here, and we are. That's what we love to do. Some other things you might know that we actually offer is we can be available online or on the phone or in person if you're going through something, whether it's a medical issue, a birth of a baby, some kind of operation or procedure. We also can do house blessings. If you bought a new home and you want a house blessing, we periodically do pet memorials, or we can do memorial services for members of the community or their family members. We also do training and workshops, which I think a lot of you have experienced, but if you haven't, they're very, very good. We have some great trainers that share spiritual truths in their workshops. But one of the things that I really want to talk about today is you've heard us referred to as spiritual coaches as well, and that's part of what we do as licensed practitioners. We offer spiritual coaching. It's a paid service. It's $100 for a session, which usually lasts about an hour. And the idea of a spiritual coaching session is to identify an intention that you want to shift in your life, an old pattern or something that you want to experience in your life. And then we walk through and identify the spiritual principles that support in shifting that in your life, as well as the spiritual tools that you can use and that we can use in order to support it as well. And then, of course, spiritual mind treatment is part of that. Now, if you're looking to, change something small, like, you want to go find the perfect car, then prayer is the right answer for you. But if you really want to take and really make a significant change in your life, then spiritual coaching is very, very powerful. And a couple of weeks ago, I heard Shauna talk about in the Science of Mind class how she's used some practitioners recently and how incredibly important and significant that has been in changing her life. So I really, really encourage you to do that. Now, and it's most useful for long-term and lasting change. So I thought, as I was putting together this talk, what I'd like to do is actually share that poem that I wrote back in the Foundations class. It was written almost 10 years to the day, August 21st, 2010. And I want to say it from a different place than I was the day that I wrote it, where I can come from a different place. And the title of the poem is Joy Is Me. Going through life looking down at the ground, missing the beauty all around, stumbling through life in a daze, unable to see clearly through the haze, feeling all alone in life, dealing with internal struggles and strife, searching for answers outside, not knowing to let go of my pride. The stories in my head blinded me. I looked in the mirror and could not see the endless possibilities that would set me free. It's time to let go of control and to get into the flow. Time to awaken from the sleep. Embrace faith and take a leap. It has taken a long time to see what others have seen all along. That joy is me. That joy is me. And you know what? I know that truth right now. I didn't know it then. I did not know it then, but I do know it now. And it's thanks to the power of practice. Lainey was singing about the power of prayer, the power of practice. This theme this month is practice, practice, practice. The power of practice, the power of individual practice, the power of leaning into the practitioners here that are supporting you. And I just want to thank each and every minister, each and every practitioner, each and every prayer partner that I've had that have taken me on this journey and transformed my life. I am not the same person I was 10 years ago, and thank God I am not. I learned that joy is within, and when I got here, I thought joy was out there somewhere. And knowing that the joy, the peace, the love, everything, all the God qualities are within me, it is empowering and allows me to change my life into what it is today. And right now, I would like to invite Carl Hunt up. And Carl is going to talk to us just a minute about his experience with spiritual coaching.
Thank you, Cindy. Yeah, hi. Yes, my name is Carl Hunt, and 10 years ago, my wife and I were fortunate enough to walk through these doors to CSLDallas. And one of the things that really made a difference, that after each service, we were encouraged to get with a practitioner when we needed prayer. And that at that time, we were going through a rough time. And so I was really hesitant. I was hesitant about using a practitioner because they were like an unknown. But what I found when we were praying together, that they could see for me what I couldn't see for myself, and also for Randy. And so things started to open up. It made sense then to utilize a practitioner on a monthly basis, and to spend time together to really look at what things we wanted that Randy and I wanted to shift around. And so we've been doing that now every month for 10 years. And I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt that it's made such a difference to the quality of our life, knowing that we're having our practitioner there for us, knowing the truth of who we are, knowing that we can, no matter what the circumstance, no matter what the situation, no matter what the problem is, we can work through this. That God has our back, the universe has our back, and that I know that for my spirit, with our practitioner, I can call any time of the day. I can text, and we have our session each month, and I know that whatever problem we face, it gets done, it gets handled. So life has turned tremendously in the area of my career. I have a new career now that I've embarked on from the one that I've had for the last 9 years. And that career that I had in talent acquisition was something that really came out of working with a practitioner. So I can't say enough about it. Thank you so much for letting me share this with you, and I invite you to find the practitioner that's going to work for you in your life. Thanks so much. God bless you.
So it's just a beautiful thing to hear from Carl and his wife Randy, who moved from that place of timidly coming in for prayer with practitioners for the first time to really putting skin in the game, right? To invest in yourself, to know that that investment for your growth can produce amazing things. What we know is that as practitioners, what we hold for you is that there is a power for good. And we employ that, we use that, we trust that power. And so often when we were upstairs doing prayer, and hopefully we'll all be back there again soon, and now with Zoom, is that some of you will come in for the first time and say, I've never done this before. and you're not exactly sure what to expect. So let me just take some of the mystery out of that for you. The kind of prayer that we do here at CSLDallas, part of our philosophy, is affirmative prayer, and we call that spiritual mind treatment. And so what happens is you may come forward and say, I'm having a health challenge, or my relationship with my dad is terrible, or I'm really scared about this test that I have to take, or whatever the story is, you would present that. And my job and our job as practitioners is what I call, I listen and I see doubly, right? So I'm acknowledging, I'm hearing that story, I'm hearing that condition, that problem, that whatever, with my human set, and with my spiritual mind, eyes and ears. As you're speaking, I am already formulating the spiritual truth. And it is my job in that prayer with you to affirm what I know is there, what I know that spiritual truth is that exists even in the darkness, even in the confusion. So sometimes someone comes in, and I don't know if you've ever been in a situation where like the power goes out and the room goes completely dark and your eyes, and you're feeling your way along the walls. And so you may be in an experience like that, and my job is to help you find the switch, and we turn it on. And in that light there, I know the truth that has always been there, that there is no fighting the darkness, that it is simply revealing that light, that truth, which is the truth of who you are. You may be in a situation where you're in a room of light, and you're curious about what's on the other side of that door, that there's something bigger calling you. And you're really grateful for where you are, and you want to expand on that. And my job in that moment as the practitioner is to walk you through that door to the expansiveness of something bigger and greater. So it doesn't always have to be something that's up, that feels uncomfortable or wrong or scary. Sometimes it's, life is good, and I'm feeling a call to something bigger, something more, and I'm going to help you get through that and leap out of that nest, knowing that you have wings to fly. And so that is our job. And what I also want you to know is that when you work with a practitioner and you present that, it is hugely confidential. No one is going to call and check up on you. Nobody's going to confront you in the midst of other people and say, hey, whatever happened and how's that going? Right? When we do that prayer, we release it. We know that it is already done, and that if you want to share more about that confidentially later, we can do that. So that's what I want to assure you, that we pray from that affirmative place of knowing the truth of who you are, knowing that truly all is well. So we're going to demonstrate a little bit of what this is going to look like, because right now we're just doing it on Zoom. And so we had some creativity here to show you how this is going to work. So hang tight. We're going to bring up and create what looks like a Zoom room for you.
All right, welcome to the After Sunday Service Zoom room. And we are here waiting to be of service to whoever might come into the room. Oh, here's someone. Hi, Jerry.
Hi, Jerry. Hello, how's everybody doing?
Great. Well, if it's okay, I'm going to place you in a confidential breakout room with Christine.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Hey, Jerry, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. How are you?
Great, great. So tell me what's going on and what do you want prayer for today?
All right, what's going on is I am in a career that I like very much, but I'm accustomed to being in a career that I love. And so my intention is to be back where I'm loving what I'm doing every day and 100% enthusiastic. Mm-hmm. And so that may include staying in my present career. It may be adding a second job, or maybe include making changes. But I just want that 100% loving, contributing, helping people every day, and being fully engaged every day.
Oh, great. That's wonderful. I love your description of that. It sounds like you already have a sense of how this is going to outpicture and how you're going to feel when this manifests. So can you say it one more time? How do you expect to feel and experience this addition or expansion of your work?
I intend to love what I do every day, help people out every day, and be ready to be fully engaged and solve challenges every day in my career.
Great, great. Okay, I think I've got it. And we'll start our prayer. Are you ready?
Oh, yes.
Okay. All righty. So, breathing in this moment, I just begin at the beginning. Remembering the truth that there is only one thing going on here. And that one thing is the one life, God's life, infinite, expanding, knowing that that presence, that life is always creating out of itself, always giving of itself into creation. And that life is my life. That my life is absolutely, inextricably one. That there is no place in my life where that one power and presence, that all-knowing, all-present, all-powerful love, joy, intelligence isn't. It's always there, everywhere.
So it is.
I know that its nature is to expand. Its nature is to create out of itself more good. I know that its nature is intelligent, so intelligent that it knows to expand an acorn already imprinted with the divine intelligence to be a giant oak tree. And that there is absolutely nothing that acorn needs to do except grow. And so what I know and claim right here and right now for Jerry is that imprint of his growth is already there. And everything within him that is moving, that is expanding, births him into this next chapter of life, showing up enthused, spirit within, enthusiasm, moving out into his service, so that each and every day Jerry wakes up excited about giving more of who he is in the world, showing up as that divine presence, as that divine intelligence, as that expansion. I know that Jerry has everything within him, and that Spirit shows up all around him, connecting him to the very people, places, and opportunities that make this so. This power for good within him is already on the move, for I know that as Jerry believes, so it is. I know that as in the one mind, my mind, the one mind, Jerry's mind, that this affirmed, this right here, right now, affirmed, makes it so. And so I simply trust all the nudges and connections and opportunities that come before Jerry, that he has within him that which resonates, that which says, yes, this way, this person, that opportunity. And that he is clear of anything that holds him back. He is untangled from any sense of not moving forward, that it is his heart and mind and soul continuing to move him forward on this path of expansion. And so it is in great gratitude that I see this unfolding. It is in great gratitude that I surrender it to that law which simply and only and always says yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
And so in that gratitude, I simply let it be. I get out of the way. I watch it unfold. And together we affirm this to already be so. And so it is.
And so it is.
Thanks, Jerry. Hope you have a great day.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it so much.
Okay.